Hello, everybody. Welcome back to OTI, Open to Interpretation. My name is Jordana. I'm here with my co-hosts, Calliope and Laura. Tara isn't here yet. She might be joining us later. She might pop in and join the conversation. But for now, we got Calliope and Laura. How's everybody
Hey.
doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. Happy Sunday.
Yes.
Happy
Good.
August.
I know,
Yeah.
right? August already. That's crazy. It's like the end of the year soon. It's going to be Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
I went to Michael's today. I'm planning this bridal shower. I went to Michael's. I don't know if y'all have like a Michael. It's like a craft store up in West. They have their Halloween stuff out. So cute. I wanted to buy all of it, but I like to call it because you guys have seen a little bit of my decor. It's like very macabre, like the skulls and everything. So I like to call it Laura's everyday decorations, not Halloween. But I had to definitely put on some self-control because I wanted it all.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, I know. Like after Labor Day to me is like fall. Like let's get through Labor Day weekend and then you can decorate for fall.
Right.
It's already got the spirit store up.
Yeah, they did. I saw a couple of them.
Yeah.
I think they should just like keep it up all year round so you can have costumes available to us like year round because
kids play dress up.
Like seriously.
Right.
And then we have
adults play dress up.
Yeah, like
adults play it, yeah. I think I want to dress up this year.
Once having furry costumes, then it's a wrap for the spirit store. It's year round at that point. Yeah. Always accessible.
You said you're dressing up, Calliope, this year?
I want to. I was like thinking about it. I'm like, okay, if I start ordering the stuff I need to put my costume together now, I should be good. Like by the time Halloween comes or whatever party I find to go to. Yeah. Because I want to dress up. I haven't like done like a real good dress up for Halloween as an adult. So I'm like, this is the year. I want to do it this year.
Yeah, go for it. I was Medusa recently. That was so fun. Ooh. Just like I had like, actually, I think I still have, okay, hold on.
The headdress.
Oh, here it is. Wait, it's in my drawer. Got like the, hold on.
That's awesome.
The little
snake. Yes, I love it.
Snake. Yeah, it's fun dressing up. Huh?
I like that. So everybody would know who you are too. That's easy
to. Yeah, that was so fun. So anyway, my little snake.
That'd be a fun costume.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Medusa is a good one. Yeah, see, I had like the greatest hair for so many costumes, and I did not dress up like at all. Yeah.
Remember the last time? The last time I dressed up was when we met up for Halloween, and you were you're like Tinkerbell. You look like a fairy.
Like fairy, yeah.
Fairy-esque.
Fairy-esque. But see, that was so like, okay, just put some wings on and an outfit out of my closet. Yeah. This year I want to go a little. I can do more.
Yeah. We can go out this year and find a Halloween party.
Yeah. My hair is gonna be bigger. The fro is gonna be giving. I have no excuse this year.
You should be Foxy Cleopatra.
Oh yeah.
That would be cute. That's not what I was thinking, but that would be cute.
That would be cute. Or like whatever Beyonce's character was in Austin Powers.
Oh yes, I don't remember what her name was.
And the fro, and you could like spray your fro and like have a gold fro.
Gold. That was Foxy. Okay, yeah.
Okay. I knew it. Like it was some character.
Ooh, that would be good. Yeah, well, maybe I could have 2 costumes. We find enough things to attend. But but I'm definitely thinking nymph. Leaning towards like nymph vibes.
Okay.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I had gotten this costume because I'm going out of town. Remember, I told you to that party.
Yeah.
And like they have like a theme. They have themes for like their little get-togethers, like their little party things. So I was like, I guess I'll dress up a little bit. And I got this fairy outfit from Fashion Nova. It's all right. I'll take pictures when I wear it so that you can see. But I don't really like dressing up that much. Like I want to be dressed like
comfortable.
Comfortable at the same time. I don't want to feel like put out by my costume. Like, let me throw this headband on. Like the yeah, I like that. That's easy. Like, yeah. So I'm like, I don't want to do too much, but I do want to dress up and participate because it is fun to like think of something to wear and stuff. But have you guys been watching the Olympics at all?
I have watched a little bit of it. Definitely watched the gymnastics.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and then the synchronized swimming was really cool too.
That was cool.
I did watch that.
I haven't watched like except for like clips that I see on the internet because I haven't even sat down to watch TV. I haven't even really been home. I came home to do the podcast and I'm going right back out. So I'm like, there's not really time to sit down and just really watch
moving.
But I'll catch some of the stories from it. And I was listening to another podcast earlier, and they were talking about some Olympic stuff. And one of the things that came up was, have you heard about the female boxer that was fighting with the Olympics, or like not fighting, but like she was participating in the Olympics, and everyone was calling her trans. Do you see that?
Yes. And she's not trans.
Right.
She's not.
I was like,
it's very weird. I'm like, but yeah, she's not.
But she's not. I did hear that she has like a different type of chromosome. Like she was born a woman, like she's fully woman, but she has a chromosome that gives her more testosterone, like puts more testosterone into her body. So she looks a little bit more masculine than, other women. So we were kind of like talking about that a little bit, or thinking about that. And I wanted to bring that up today because what do you guys think about that? Like trans women, like participating in female sports, like a male born but identifies as woman, and then they compete in sports, like what they think that what was going on. Like before we go into what it really was, let's address what people think it was and the response that was, shown as a whole. Like there was like the media put out like a story accusing her of being trans and participating in women's sports, and she's not even like, to me that's wild. Like how can that be wild as a story? Like did they not fact check before they put this story out? Like what happened to journalism and the things that we are shown to us on like mass media platforms? Like
I would be suing
shit. Yeah. Like
yeah, I mean, that's like offensive. Like she probably gets either bullied or negative comments made to her all the time. And then the press writing articles and, saying that she's trans when she's not, that's gotta be like really damaging to someone's psyche, Like you never know how bad someone gets bullied or whatever word you want to use, and it might just need that like last straw for them to break. And I just think it's uncalled for. I mean, I don't know. You asked about like
what about like people that are actually trans playing sports, like women's sports?
Yeah,
I don't agree with it. I don't think that if you were ever a man that you should be competing against natural born women. Like that's just not going to you're going to have to find something else to do. Like,
no, I'm with you.
A league of their own.
Yeah.
Then maybe that will like even the playing field. But yeah, I do feel like just body type and build, like it doesn't biologically, it completely takes out the fairness of the competition.
Men are stronger, faster. Yes.
So I definitely think they should still be able to compete competitively, professionally, all of those things, but they do need a special league for that. Yeah. Just like we have the league for, we have tons of the Special Olympics. Is that what they call it? Yeah, we can have different categories. I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah, competing on a worldwide level with other women that have been training their whole lives to compete on this elite level, and then they get with somebody, or they get into the ring with somebody, or like swimming with somebody who is now identifying as a woman and is stronger and faster, and it takes their opportunities away from them when we don't know the psychology behind people that are trans. Like everybody's different. Everybody's gonna have different reasoning or different experience as to why they feel like they need to transition. So like, and I think that some of the I think that if they're athletes and they're making money and being recognized, I feel like sometimes there may be an ulterior motive to be doing that. And they like have brought that up in the past too about natural born men that are competing against women as trans, like not making it in male like sports and then transitioning and then going to women and like winning a bunch of awards.
Dominating.
Yeah, that's not
topping all the categories, but you were at like the lowest of the low.
And there's like this one case where this girl was wanting to qualify for like college sports, and she lost her standing because somebody else came in who was trans and had better numbers than her. So she didn't get the scholarship, or she didn't get the opportunity because somebody else that was born a man competing against women and identifying as a woman now, you know, took some of those opportunities and did better than her in her own word, which sucks. So
that does suck. And I definitely feel like it can leave people to be bitter in situations like that, which could also lead to prejudices and biases and just, you know, like I said, bitter, hate, just mad. But that is like you said, training their entire lives for this opportunity and for it to be lost just like that. Like, yeah, I could be very upset about something like that too. And I do feel like that there should be some kind of validation for those athletes who have lost opportunities like that. Like,
and these athletes are, yeah, like, so like that's it.
Like, so what happened? What about their lives? You know, what about their psychology, and what about how they're going to be impacted moving forward in life, or not being able to move forward in life? Because that's a hard blow to take. If you know,
like, I don't get to go to the college I want to now and play the sport that I want to because somebody else came in and decided they want to be a woman and compete against me and then like dominate the sport. Like,
right, but adversely, have you ever seen
this or not happy? Like, I don't think it's not fair.
Have you ever seen a born woman trans to man like compete in the male Olympics? Probably not.
I think there are, but we don't hear about it.
Maybe because there's no men.
Because they're not dominating and taking opportunities away from other men.
Right. So true.
Hear about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a touchy subject because I'm very like pro trans. Like be who you want, but it is unfair. Yeah. Like you said, like your DNA is literally like you have a Y chromosome. Yeah. You know, like females have 2 X chromosomes. Males have an I or a Y and an X. Like you can't change your DNA.
More complicated than that. Biologically, it is more complicated than just XX and XY because we are made up of so many different differentialities within our biology. So there are going to be women that look like women, that present as women, that have women parts, you know, for lack of a better word at the moment in my head, but they may have like a male chromosome that comes up in their DNA strand that will present itself in other ways. And then they'll, you know, like this woman that they were talking about, where she has an extra chromosome that gives her more like testosterone. So she looks like a woman. She does to me anyways. Like, I don't, you know, when I look and I'm looking for this, you know, because it's such a common thing. Like, I don't see an Adam's apple. I don't see like extra big hands. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't see like how they would assume that she was just a trans person.
Yeah, I don't really see it either. I see like her face is just a little more angular.
Yeah, like maybe a stronger angular jawline.
Yeah, but I don't really see
like higher cheekbones or like more pronounced cheekbones or, you know, like stuff like that. So and there was a boxer that was a trans man. So there was in that same sport a woman that transitioned to a man who was boxing, and they don't talk about it. So there are other athletes that are trans, but
they're not getting any attention. Like, I would be offended if I was the trans athlete. Like, why are you this person gets an entire article about them
being trans
and they're not. They're not. Like,
and here I am breaking boundaries and competing against men, and even though they're not doing as good, like they don't get any
recognition.
Nothing.
Yeah. We can use some tinkering there.
So it's like, then it kind of, I don't know, it makes you think about also like what as a society we're looking for when it comes to, you know, what we expect people to look like or be like in sports. And is it still mostly, and I don't want to come off like this is not a feminist topic, but like, is this going to be more of like a male centered type of discussion where like just because it's not affecting men, like it doesn't get talked about, now that it's affecting women and we're like, yeah, let's talk about it, the guys are like, well, it's not affecting us, so it doesn't matter,
right?
like, you know,
yeah, for sure.
Probably.
But as soon as like you know like because like men are like, well, it's not, you know, like the male boxer that is the trans, or like this, it's like they have this and I didn't read this anywhere. This is not somebody's point of view that I read anywhere, but like men have this kind of attitude about it. Like, well, if it's not affecting me and it's not, you know, it's not affecting my sport and it's not making us look bad, making us look better even because you can't compete with us, then
why would I say anything?
Yeah, they're
definitely if
bring attention
not
to
broke,
it.
Don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Type of attitude. Exactly. Yeah.
What happens living in a man's world.
Yeah. So how, I know this is probably like is something you think about, Laura, because you are a feminist or feminist. But like, how does it feel from your point of view also, like to be like seeing another woman being attacked that isn't trans, but is just kind of like doing her thing and being a woman? It's like, why do we always have to be fighting, you know, for like our right to just be and exist,
right?
In any type of like situation.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like bullying any gender or like, you know, that last, you don't know what their mental health is like. But I definitely, as the feminist that I am, like I do typically like look out for women more and like side with them a little bit better. And maybe I would not have been as annoyed with it if it really was a man, or if it was the opposite. But the fact that it's truly a woman is definitely much more infuriating. I just feel like like society is like always after like women and what they do wrong or they don't do enough, or, you know, and I personally feel that it's less of a focus on men doing things wrong, but that's my perspective. You guys might disagree.
Like the mainstream media like made this story as it was true, and then like everybody just hopped on, and I even saw people that I know posting about it, and then like I would go through the comments on Facebook or something, you know, and it would be like this is not even a true story, and everyone's enraged. Like literally people are like enraged in the comments and not even knowing like the full story. And then like
rage bait.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, like they got what they wanted. Everyone's pissed off about something that's not even real.
Not true at all.
Now the conversation is back to trans women in sports instead of let's enjoy the Olympics and let people, you know, like participate in it. And they worked hard. She worked hard to get there at that level. Like that's your whole life. Now she's trans. Like, then actually not trans or not trans at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely been frustrating. Like that, I feel like the Olympics has been so little about like the sport and the athlete and like honoring this, you know, century long, whenever the Olympics started, like tradition. And it's been more focused on like people being offended or like trying to find like the little story out of just like the Last Supper. People thought like the opening dinner was like, you know, in mocking the Last Supper. Like, let's focus on just like the sport. Let's stop making it all this drama. It's
drama. And like, pettiness. It's a lot of pettiness. Yeah, it's just.
And not to mention, like, I feel like sometimes, like, us as Americans always have something to pick at. Like, we have something to complain about for everything. Like, Paris is a completely different country and a completely different continent. They do things differently. Like, that Last Supper, like, it was mocking something, you know, or, like, other countries do things that we find to be, like, offensive, and that's just part of the culture. Yeah, like, it's just different, you know, like, their sense of humor is different. What they find entertaining can be different, you know. It's like, and then we're like, oh, my gosh. They make it about a religion, and like the Olympics isn't about religion at all.
Yeah, it's about the culture, the Greek culture, and that's what that dinner was posing as anyway. But yeah, that whole, like, not to change the subject, but that whole, like, so many of like my conservative Christian like acquaintances were like, I'm not watching the Olympics because they're mocking God, and it's like you're missing the point of the Olympics. Like, maybe if you don't want like your kids to watch it because they're mocking God, that's your decision. But the athletes had nothing to do with this. Like, it's just these people, like you said, train their entire lives for this. Like, let's focus on that. Let's focus on the sport and how enjoyable it can be, and stop being little snowflakes that are offended by everything.
Right. And it's like, we didn't get to have to, we didn't always have the opportunity to watch the Olympics on TV. Like, there was a point in time where like it wasn't on TV. It wasn't televised. You know, you either had to listen to it on the radio or read about it in the paper. And now we have like all this great technology that brings us, you know, these experiences that some people will never, ever, ever be able to see in real life. And you get to see it on TV and on the internet, and like, you know, like, enjoy that part of it. Like, stop like feeding into like these journalists who, you know, like want to have these like
a story.
Yeah, it's like a story inside of a story, but it's not even true. And then people are up in arms and angry about it and aren't even. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's her as
adorable.
A little.
Definitely
like a girl.
Yeah,
definitely a little girl, a cute little girl. Probably had dreams of, you know, growing up to be something special, and probably didn't want to get talked about. And she looked like she was probably tall for her age. Like, yeah, she looked like she was tall, got long limbs, and you know, even just being a kid and being different, just like that, like growing up different is hard. Like, and then as a girl, like, you get talked about just for the way you look. Like, I thought that part of life was over.
Grow up, you know, this is an adult
all over again.
Yeah.
But also, I can't imagine how her parents felt. Like, can you imagine you're so proud of your child to like do so well, and then there's no, like, the focus isn't something not true. That would just break. I can't imagine. That would break my heart.
Yeah, I would be sad.
Definitely. Like, you don't want your kids to be shown in a light that isn't even true. After they worked, you saw them work hard. You saw all the training. She probably went through so many years of training, boxing, putting her blood, sweat, and tears into being the best that she can, and compete at that level, just to have it be about her being trans, and it wasn't even true. Like, that's so hurtful, secondhand hurtful.
I know.
Yeah, I feel like I felt that secondhand. Just like, what are we doing? Shame.
So apparently, like, her dad didn't even want her to box as a child because it's not a girl sport. And then she got into boxing, and then that happened. I bet her dad's probably like, these people.
Right.
This is what I didn't want.
So upset. I would be too.
All right, we do this thing I have a weekly meeting at work with all the nurses I work with, and we do like would you rathers or something like that. If you could this is similar. If you could compete tomorrow in any Olympic sport, what would it be?
Gymnastics.
Okay. Okay. Even based off the skills that like you have today, like,
be gymnastics still. Because I used to do like tumbling and cheer, so I'm like, I always like the floor routines. I'm like, I could probably do that.
Right, break my neck, but I can do it.
Exactly, you have to fall on my neck, but you know, I could probably try. In my mind. Or ice skating. I used to get on my rollerblades and pretend that I was ice skating. I was Christy Yamaguchi. You couldn't tell me.
Oh man, rollerblading. What happened to rollerblading? That was such a 90s, like, that was it. I think I still have my rollerblade. I'm gonna break them out.
I would love to have a pair now. Like, that's great exercise.
Oh God. Thanks for the tip. I'm gonna break them out.
Do it.
Yeah. You, Calliope, what would you compete in?
Track. I would run.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I'm gonna do speed walking.
I would like to do like the chocolate.
Okay, but I don't even think they have it anymore. But have you seen like the speed walking? That has got to be so bad for like that hip joint. Like, what? Like, I don't know. I feel like I would be good at that. That's what I would think.
It reminds me of like when like the mall used to be open and like the stores wouldn't be open, but the mall would be open, and like all the older people would go and walk the mall.
Walking, yep, with their tracksuits on.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, that's something. All right, now I
gotta know. Get out of their way.
I know. Got the elbow pads, the knee pads.
Yes, they were on it. They still do it. They get up early in the morning. They're like the first people there.
And they walk the mall.
And then they leave. And they go home.
Because it's cool outside. And like you can tell, like I'm sure it's easier to track like how many steps and like what you're doing as far as like distance. But jogging suits.
Yeah. In the mall.
Like 90s themed, like thing that happened. It's funny though.
I used to do that with my girls when they were babies because like if it was hot or snowing or raining, I like to walk every day. That's just how I clear my head and stay healthy. And I did a couple times take them in the stroller, and we have a small mall, so I might have done like 12 laps, but I'll hook up with some small walk.
It's hot outside. You don't want to walk outside. You want to be cool.
Yeah.
Still get your walk in.
It's safer than walking the neighborhood.
Right. Okay, but with subject.
Anyways.
Huh?
I said old people are up early anyways. They're up.
Yeah, and then you see them sitting at the little chairs with their coffee. Yep.
McDonald's
chatting.
That's like, gonna be one of my old people activities for sure. If there's
the mall.
When I'm old, like I'm walking the mall. That'll be my track.
I kind of want to know what Shane's Olympic sport that he would compete in would be.
Shane,
swimming. Either basketball or swimming, one of those two.
Okay. Yeah. Because you're tall, right? I mean, I haven't seen you in a while, but you're a tall guy.
Yeah, I'm above average height, I would say. I'm not NBA tall, but
Right.
Average American male is like 5'8".
5'6".
Yeah.
Let's be real. 5'6".
They lied.
Pushing out the 5'8"
too.
5'6".
Speaking of height and weight and all that kind of stuff, it kind of ties into question Jordana was asking a little bit earlier, but I just want you guys' opinions on this too. So do you guys think that some of this narrative about this boxer, I don't know how to pronounce her name and I don't want to mess it up. But about this lady boxer.
Man.
Do we think some of the rhetoric is based on just because she's a big, strong woman? So that in itself, well, you can't be a woman. Women are feminine and small and dainty and little. So just by nature of her being bigger and stronger than the average woman, do you think that's some of where this is coming from?
For sure. She's different than how women should be perceived, even in sports. Yeah. So that's going to draw attention anyways. That's why I feel like they got that storyline to begin with. Like someone just assumed like, well, she doesn't look like a woman to me. Let's run with that shit. Now we get to talk about something,
controversial.
Yeah. It was probably some male boxer who got a lower score than she did or whatever and made a stink about it because he was offended.
That's not even a woman.
Woman be better than me.
You can't be better than me.
Right.
You shouldn't even be here. Like.
And then I got one more question for y'all too. So what do y'all think this is really about? And here's what I mean by that. So, because like Jordana brought up, there was a different trans boxer who was actually trans, but it was a trans man, meaning she was born female, or meaning he was born female, but identifies as a man now. Got washed in the first round. So to me, my question is this really about biological males competing or fighting with biological females? Because if that's the case, the trans man is still biologically female. Shouldn't everybody be just as upset with the dudes who knocked her out in the first round or whatever as they would be with a trans woman who was born a man fighting against women? It's literally the same thing.
Right.
It's a biological man knocking out a biological woman. So where's the outrage for that? So what do y'all think this is really about?
I mean, I honestly think it was just a distraction to what everyone was pissed about at that opening ceremony. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like everyone was like, all the Christian conservatives were such up in arms about that dinner that was portrayed that they had to like change the focus, perhaps. And that's not really the answer that you were trying to get out of me, but that's they were like looking for anything to make the focus.
Any story.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of weird stuff going on with the Olympics. Like, I know Shelly, I think her name is Shelly, the Jamaican track runner. Her and Sha'Carri, some kind of rule was changed overnight. So they were not able to compete in the same category. Some rule was changed overnight. They were not informed and they were held liable the next day. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on with the Olympics anyways. It's just like
tainted.
I'll be weird. Yeah, it's just weird. Yeah, it's just being really weird. So
yeah, but it's all against the women as I'm thinking about it, because I don't know if this is who you're talking about.
They want us to go home. They want us to sit at home.
It wasn't there some runner? I mean, is this who you're speaking of? That she was like positive for cannabis or something, so she couldn't compete, something like that.
That was last Olympics. That was the last Olympics.
I'm just hearing that now.
Girl now.
But the reason that it's brought up, the reason I brought it up is because there was like some swimmer or something that was convicted of like raping a 12-year-old, and he could still compete in the Olympics.
Yeah,
but like
that's the minimal story. Like, why is he like? That's not one of the.
No one's really talking about that. Yeah. I think he's with Norway. Yeah.
Yeah.
The more we talk about this, the more I think it's a war on women. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the gymnastics. Who's the really popular gymnastics?
Simone Biles, and there's another one.
Rule on her too. I think they changed some rule. I want to say they changed a rule on her too, like just like what Calliope was saying about the track and field runners. I think they did the same thing to Simone Biles too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either. It's just definitely. I'm gonna take it there. I don't think that America wants so many black faces representing them.
I wouldn't.
They have Beyonce black ass up there, like
they're talking about Simone's hair. Like, they're just picking at shit. They aren't talking about Sha'Carri's neck. They don't talk about Simone's hair. They like always talking about black women and what they're doing. Something like, man.
But also, I expected the heat. Once I knew Kamala was on that ballot, I knew it. They about to cook. They're gonna try. They're gonna try, but it's like it's nothing that you can throw at us that hasn't been thrown our way.
Right.
So it's definitely they're gonna turn up the heat on all women right now.
Annoying.
For sure.
Like, oh
hey ladies.
How you doing? How's the yard work? You tired?
Yes.
Yes. Well, you look good,
guys.
Good to see you.
Hair hanging.
Yep. See my back.
You got your gardening done, Tiara?
I got some.
He said, I don't even want to say most. Some of it. Well, we're almost actually kind of wrapping up a little bit, just talking about the Olympics and like the trans person that was not a trans person in boxing. And they try to make this story about her being trans because she looks more masculine than what they want women to look like in boxing, apparently. Mm-hmm. So we were talking a little bit about that and kind of like the Olympics and how they just been attacking women and the guys that are there. Like there was one guy that, was accused of rape or convicted of rape. I don't remember exactly what the story said, but they're not convicted. He was convicted. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're not really talking about him and they're letting him compete. But, like they're just making a big deal out of a lot of the stuff that women are just trying to do to exist. And
specifically Black women.
Yeah. Mm. Or women of color, because Iman is a person of color too, right?
Yeah, she's from Algeria.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not definitely, But I was just saying there's not a whole lot that they can throw at us that hasn't been thrown at us forever.
Yeah, but that's sad. Like that a Black woman would think like, oh, like we're used to it. Like that crushes my heart,
We are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We are.
like this.
Reality of this country that we live in that was on the backs of Black people.
Right. It's hard enough to be a woman, let alone a woman of color. So y'all got my vote and you all got my all the things.
I'll do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. Shut up and listen.
Do whatever the fuck you want to do.
At this point, you know, hands off.
Yeah.
Seriously. So, just to get your opinions on some of these things.
Okay.
Let's say Kai turns 14. She's playing a sport. Mm-hmm. You know, she's really good at it. Mm-hmm. You know, she's a freshman in high school. She's doing her thing.
Okay.
Next year goes. Now schools are looking at her. Junior year, she getting ready to get lined up for the scholarship. Senior year comes. She graduates. She goes off to school. Now she has to compete with somebody who was born a man but identifies as a woman. How do you feel?
Shit ain't fair, huh?
You walked into the fire, the ring of fire.
Boom.
Tier's already exhausted.
Done. Past your bedtime.
It's bullshit. I don't want to say like I don't want to be. Fuck that. It's bullshit. They need their own
category.
So that way, but damn, it's just fucked up. Look, because even if they have their own category, it'll be women compete. Biological women competing against biological men, which will make it unfair, even though the biological woman may identify as a man and vice versa. It's bullshit because and we wouldn't let. I would have to crush my baby dream, like Pootie. Let me business. You want a business?
You want your own business?
I'll pay.
We're gonna start this lip loss company. We're gonna do something different because
I'll just pay for it. Don't worry about it. Whatever you want to do, fuck it.
Got you. Yeah.
that would be a fucked up conversation to have too.
Something her heart is set on, and she's been practicing and putting her whole hopes and dreams into being a professional and like competing at an elite level with other athletes who have put as much time and effort in as she has. Like that's something special. Like the Olympics are something special for so many athletes to be able to get to that point, and then just to be like thrown, almost like you're like thrown to the side. Like, well, it doesn't matter because now like the world is different and we have to be inclusive. And you may not get the same chances because now we're being inclusive. But it's like, especially as a Black woman, like, okay, but what about my inclusion?
Yeah.
Like that I've worked so hard for.
For sure. Very selective. I would probably try to start my baby her own little AAU team. Like, you know what, mommy, will rent a stadium, god damn it. Kids. And you can play yourself. Like, my mom, I am so fuck them. I get y'all some medals. Shit.
Right. Trophies for the team.
Yeah, fuck them.
Even thinking about like the trans thing, like if there's a born male that's now female, competing against other women like swimming or gymnastics, that is its own thing. But you're taking what we're talking about, if it really was a born male in boxing, like of all things, that's such a safe, like you're literally getting your ass beat by a man. Like a woman would be getting her ass beat by a man, and it's televised. Like it's just like a safety thing now that I'm thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Laura, go further. If the man get his ass whooped. I took it easy on her because I knew that she's biological. Right. And so, like you go further than that. Now you take it easy on me when you really just got your ass whooped.
Yeah, right.
Like the other one of it, like the trans man boxer who got knocked out in the first round. Like nobody talked about that dynamic between him now fighting other natural born men, and she's a natural born woman but identifies as a man now, and nobody cares about that. Men are like, oh no, we can't have this. It's just regular boxing for them. This is like a regular day. Like they don't care.
But the people who have disabilities, don't they have their own category?
They have the Paralympics or the Special Olympics.
Yep.
They own head.
And let them have a category.
Yeah.
Where the natural born men compete against natural born men. Now they're all women. So like it's like just opposite. Like this is the women's Olympics, but they're all trans women, and these are the men's Olympics, and they're all trans men.
And so then if you're non-binary, then you just I don't know, but yeah, they
too much with too much.
But that also might open doors for the trans people who are afraid to compete in the Olympics because of this, or they know that they would be shunned. Like, I feel like if we had a trans Olympics, then more people would be able to compete because they feel comfortable to do so.
They know that there's a space for them to be in.
Exactly.
Like, they don't have to be like, well,
they're not going to put the money in to do that.
Right. No, of course not.
Think about it.
And I feel like
the will be so low because now I have to turn the TV off because I don't have that conversation.
And also, I feel like I don't think trans people would even want that because they fight so hard to be their trans identity that they wouldn't want to be having their own, like I feel like they fought so hard to be who they are that they want to be included where the men are, and they want to be included where the women are, and like that way. It's like, well, I'm not trans, I'm a woman. That whole thing, like, well, to more women that were born women, like, I mean, to me, I'm like, you have to go through a lot for me to look at you as a woman if you were born a man.
Exactly.
Like, you have to have the whole surgery and transition physically, completely, before I look at you like you are another woman to me.
Yep.
Like, you're not going to walk around with a dick and tell me that you're a woman. I'm sorry. I just don't agree with that.
Yeah. I definitely, at one point, I felt like, as like women, the door is too open for anybody to come tap dancing in this bitch.
Yeah.
What have you
want to come play? No, this is not a costume party.
Yep.
I can't take my costume off.
Right.
Every month. Sometimes twice a month.
Yeah.
The
costume that sheds.
Literally.
The costume that keeps on giving.
Keeps on showing up. Show out, baby. Show out.
Even if we're like,
I think what you just said sort of touches on something you said earlier, which was, why don't men speak up when it's just because it's not their sports that are being affected, it's only women's sports, so they feel like they don't need to say anything, right? I think part of that, at least from my perspective, is if like there's four of you guys all basically seem to be in agreement on this, but if I brought another four women on here, they might have the opposite opinion. Well, no, trans women are women. They're the same as us, and it's who they are on the inside. They just happen to have the other side parts and blah, blah, right? So the fact that there are just as many women who will say that as the ones who are saying what you guys would say makes it hard for a dude to be like, well, this is what is the right side to be on when it comes to this particular women's issue, because y'all aren't even necessarily aligned on it. When it comes to
it's not a women's issue, it's a trans person issue.
What becomes a woman's issue when they try to compete in your leagues?
It does become one, but if we keep it let's stick to the subject. You're still a trans person. So let's you know what I mean? Like, not you stick to the subject, but like as far as when people are talking about it and like want to be included, like you're still a trans person. You're still, even when you have a surgery, you're still going to be a trans person because you were not born.
Right. Yes. That's for sure. I think I shared this before, but like as an ER, when I worked in the ER, like if someone came in with abdominal pain, there's things that can be ruled out if you don't have female parts. So like, that matters. Like, I'll call you she, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But what organs do you have on the inside of you?
Yeah. From a medical perspective, that makes complete sense and is logical.
Right.
I feel like when it becomes illogical and doesn't make sense is when we're dealing with someone's perception of themselves and how they feel on the inside, and not necessarily what they're presenting on the outside. And that's not physical. Like, that's something that happens in your brain. Like the way you view yourself and like
it's gender dysphoria. It has a name. It just used to, like, it's technically, I don't know if it's legally hate speech or what, but it's viewed as hate speech to say that, because then it's like, oh, so you're saying I have a mental disorder? And it's like, no, I'm saying you have a mental condition.
condition. Yeah, a condition that
That's
makes you
different
feel
than
differently
disorder.
than what you are.
And that condition happens to be called gender dysphoria. There are other versions of it. Body dysmorphia is another version. That's why people become bulimic, and that's why dudes take steroids.
That's why I like to eat whatever I want, and I still look at myself in the mirror the same.
That's a good place to be.
I personally identify as trans thick. I've always said that I'm trans thick.
Nice.
Trans thick.
And I'm trans thin. We'll be best friends.
I'm Lori Harvey over here. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what do you think about beauty standards that women are forced to uphold? Because we all kind of collectively agreed that a lot of this trans rhetoric that came for this boxer was based on the fact that she's just big and strong. And now she also, has that condition that does make her body produce more testosterone, but it's natural. Like, she's not doing anything to cause that. Yeah. And just for you, because you weren't here a second ago, this is her as a little girl. She's clearly a little girl. You know what I'm saying? Was born a woman. That's her. So
pink, like she's a girl.
So with all that being said, what do you think about like the unfair pressure that a lot of women have to like to maintain certain beauty standards, to be petite and to be, pretty and dainty and like all that type of shit? And then if you show yourself like that, people are like, that's not even a woman, that's a dude.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. I was gonna say, while she's thinking, this could be a whole nother episode about the standards that women have.
Yeah, the beauty standards, for women's beauty standards. Yeah, that's a whole different.
We can talk about this next week. We can talk about it.
Because
it's unrealistic. Coming personally, I'm taller, I'm bigger. Voice is a little deep. Okay. I've always been told, be a lady, you aggressive, calm down. And it'd be like, no, I'm still a lady. I'm still very pretty. However, don't fucking play with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I still, smack the shit out. However, I just don't like the gender. Well, the beauty standards for us is just so unrealistic. And that's why you have the BBL community. That's why you have if we want to go back to the transgender conversation, they soften their voice. Come on, Miss Netta, you don't sound like that. I know when the camera off, he sound about deeper than me. Like I feel like
CG in this bitch.
It's a mental thing still, because I know. Look, I've been on a whole rabbit hole, but I feel like, like even with men who have softer voices or, are very metrosexual, that don't mean that they're not a man and they don't fit the standards of being a man. They can still be, head of household. His voice just soft. He didn't pick his voice out in the lineup. I didn't pick my deep voice. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Like, I didn't pick that. However,
how they are.
Yeah.
It's just how they are. And
mentally, you have to be prepared for it. You definitely have to have thick skin. You learn rather young how to
that you're different.
The standards and be okay with being different.
These beauty standards that we have in our country and in our societies aren't just about looks. They want women to act a certain way and be docile and quiet. And I feel like when you speak up and you are a little bit more assertive, that's masculine. Now you're acting like a dude.
You act like a man. As small and dainty as I am,
But think about your grandparents. Think about if you had grandparents that you can remember, and grandma and grandpa were together. Think about how, no matter how pissed the grandfather made the grandmother, she was still very kind and sweet. Now, when the door closed, she might cuss his ass out. However, in the view of everyone, she's very docile. She's very sweet. The gender roles for the household is set. They don't stray. She doesn't stray from it. You know what I'm saying? It's very much, grandma, you can open that jar. Why we got to wait till granddaddy come home to open the jar? They're programmed to that's what it is. And now that it's changing, there's still people like, no, you masculine. How am I masculine? Because I told you that was wrong, sir or ma'am.
When you speak
You
of,
didn't
that's
whisper it to me softly in your nice nightgown and the negligee that I like with the fragrance I like. And then you didn't let me stick you after you told me how I hurt your feelings and I just disregarded it.
Yeah.
So now you're masculine.
Yeah.
No, bye.
You're sleeping alone tonight, buddy.
Yeah.
What they think.
On the couch.
Hello.
Because the man always on the couch and the woman always stays in the bed in the 50s, which what we're talking about is like the beauty standards from the 50s.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was like, we don't even like what? Can we upgrade him?
Yeah. It's been almost 100 years. I think I need an upgrade.
Yeah.
I got one more question for all of y'all to answer individually. So, and because we have 2 members of the community on here, so I want to, throw this question out there. Now, in my mind, as a straight guy, right, the whole LGBTQ movement was about acceptance for who people are as themselves, right? So that means as a man, you can be feminine. As a man, you can wear dresses. You can paint your nails. You can wear pink Ugg boots. You're still a man. You're just a really feminine man. Same with women. You can, dress like a dude, for the lack of better terms, and you're still a woman. You're just maybe on the more masculine side of that.
A stud at that point.
Everything in between, right? So wasn't it more about like, hey, I'm still this, even though I act like this? Whereas now it seems like that has changed to almost reinforcing the stereotypes where it's like, oh, if you're a little boy who acts like a girl, then you're probably trans and you're really a girl. What happened to, no, you might just be a little gay boy, but that's okay. You're still a boy. Like, when did that change? And did that change? Am I misunderstanding that?
When trans was already stuffed down our throat. Sorry, go ahead. But.
Yeah. No, because I still see people talking like there's a guy on TikTok and he is gay and he straight out called everybody out. He was like, y'all weird for walking around grown ass men with beards and nails. You weird. He said it. He's straight. He was like, that's just weird. And you need to keep that shit at the club. Don't be walking around. I shouldn't see you at McDonald's like that. So I think that there are there are people who still feel like you could just be gay and just be like, you don't have to be like, look at me. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. So there are people who exist who still feel that way. And then we have people who are just like loud and proud, like Saucy Santana, perfect example. Like,
but that's almost my example, right? Saucy Santana is almost a perfect example because he's still a man, still
very much so,
man, but
very much so
all the feminine stuff. But
all the feminine stuff.
He's not trans. He didn't become
Jeffree
a woman.
Star. Yes, he's not trans.
Jeffree Star, it does hair, makeup, nails, is probably one of the most iconic makeup enthusiasts in the country. And social media influencers. And he still identifies as a man, a gay man, I would think. But he does hair, nails, all the things. And I don't think he wears that on a daily. I think it's more for like, interviews, podcasts, going out. Yeah. But that's what he likes.
He doesn't wear his nails though. He does always have his acrylic nails on.
Right. But he's very vocal about disagreeing with all the different zays and ways and whatever the heck else. And that's not to be offensive. It's just because I don't know them all. So, yeah.
And I grew up around gay men. Gay men. However, they were men.
Yeah.
They may grow their nails out, but they weren't fake nails. And this was the 90s, of course, 2000s. They were slightly feminine, like you had to say, is Uncle such and such gay?
Right, little manner.
They were still very much a man. And I can't even say the word that I want to say. I'll say it later during the recap. I like the old gay people because they were very much still in their role in society. They were men. They were working, in plants and on trucks and all of that. But they like who they like at night because they always felt like what I do in my bedroom does not matter. And like Calliope said, the guy that if we're talking about the same guy, he's from Detroit. I love him because I can like who I like, but I don't have to flaunt it in front of kids. You are being a character. Conceptually, like who you like, but doing all of that is unnecessary. I always tell my son, if you can like who you like, but you're gonna be a man at the end of the day. You have to be a man at the end of the day. You don't have to cosplay a woman to like who you like. And I'm saying like who I like because my kids is nosy, but
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to cosplay with the nails, but you got this big mustache and you got to walk with your butt all jiggling. And man, no, that's unnecessary to me.
Or like how like gay white dudes talk like old black women. Like why?
Oh, we ain't even, that's a whole nother
like why do they? Why does
don't
why?
piss me off? I get so mad.
Or there's an angry black woman inside of me.
Yeah, right.
And
then they've never even been to a Black Thanksgiving.
I'm so scared. Are you gonna put me in there?
I think back in the day, it wasn't as complicated. I do think that it's good that people feel comfortable to be who they are. However, back in the day,
they don't even know who they are.
Went to a show and did their thing, came home, still woke up in the morning and put them slacks and them suspenders on and went to work. Now it's like,
yeah, like you can still be a guy. Like you can still be who you always, you know, like you can look how you always looked and still like who you like. And
Uncle Clifford.
Uncle Clifford.
From P Valley. Uncle Clifford. When he had to go down to that bank, did he go? He put on them slacks.
Right?
Because he wanted to be
at the club.
And
for business. But when he was at the club, you couldn't tell him nothing. You couldn't tell her nothing.
There's a time, we all learn there's a time and place for everything.
But just on a comfort level.
Everything.
On a comfort level, going to work, I would much rather wear a man's like slacks and a button up than some tights and high heels.
Yes.
You know? I would never choose to wear that over something comfortable.
Right. Like I want to wear my sweats,
t-shirt,
no bra.
I love dressing like a guy. It's comfortable. Like what?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That's why I'm a nurse. That's literally why I'm a nurse, so I can wear my pajamas to work.
Cozy clothes
like
all day.
I made it. I'm wearing my jammies to work. For real.
So that's a good rollover for next week about women and expectations.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. It's always good to see you.
Yay.
My life is busy, but it's good to see everybody every week.
Yes.
We made it.
All right. Well, until next time, thanks for showing up and watching us on OTI. See you guys later.
Bye.